Hello all freedom loving friends, and welcome to my video. As of January 20th, 2025, the new age in America started. As President Donald J. Trump puts it, the golden age of America started. For all the changes, the upcoming changes, I just basically tried to collect them, all of them, as much as I can on one list to kind of touch base and share them with you. President Trump actually on January 20th, Monday, he signed approximately 200 executive orders. And with one stroke of a pen, 80 executive orders that were signed by Biden were revoked, completely and totally revoked. Every single one of them was anti-American, and they had to be destroyed and revoked. Thanks God, with the help of God, President Trump revoked them all. And that was an awesome and great start. And symbolically, also, that was done as the first thing. That was the first document that President Trump signed to revoke all 80 executive orders signed by Biden. And then like I said, I'm going to go through the list of those, and some of them will kind of try to bring my opinions, my thoughts on that one, and I want to share them with you. Before I start, I want to repeat this. This is, like I said, this is the new era for America, completely and entirely. This is not like a second Trump administration. Technically it is, but this is not to be called as second Trump administration. This is the new America under Trump administration. New America in the new world. My take on this, friends, this is the end of wokeism. America will be reclaimed, and America rejects to be a wokistan. So let me start with those items that I listed, and let's kind of go through them. Like I said, I listed a total of 36 items. Those are all the executive orders or decisions or new decisions and changes and upcoming changes about a lot of things. Number one, the CPB One Asylum scheduling application was suspended, and the website that was serving that application was pulled down and shut down. As you know, CPB One was the application that was given the asylees and people who were illegally crossing the southern border. They were using it. They were scheduling an appointment for asylum applications. That was being heavily exploited. That was another very unfair exploitations of the American soil by illegal immigrants, those illegally crossing the southern border. During the year 2023, approximately close to 1 million people had appointments, the asylum application appointments scheduled, and they had their applications processed, and they were all given court dates. And don't forget the fact that every single one of them are illegals. That means criminals. Because, let's repeat it one more time, crossing the southern Mexican border into the United States of America without the proper authorization is an illegal act, and that means it is committing to crime. So every single one of them are criminals. Um, Number two, Mexican border was shut down in its entirety, and all the entry points along the Mexican border were all shut down without an exception in its entirety. Number three, as of January 20th, while President Trump taking oath and swearing in, and during the whole entire ceremony, inauguration ceremony, that day, 4,000 then most recent applications were canceled. Overall total, 30,000 asylum applications have been canceled completely. And this is not temporary decision. This is not a temporary suspension. All of them, without an exception, were canceled. Like I said, the CPB One application was taken down, and no more asylum applications are to be taken, to be processed, to be taken, to be accepted uh, in the same fashion. Remain in Mexico policy was um, reactivated, which was the same policy actually during the earlier Trump administration between the years 2016 and 2020 was in place, and Biden administration basically revoked that. Now it's back. Remain in Mexico policy is in force. If somebody wants to apply for asylum into the United States, they still can do that. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. No asylum applications are being taken, but going forward. But if they do it, they're not going to be in the United States. They're gonna have to stay within the Mexican borders, and they have to wait. However long it takes, even if it takes years, they have to remain. They have to stay in Mexico. There is no more cross the border illegally, apply for asylum as it has been happening so far, uh, give some ridiculous reasons. 95% of them are bogus reasons, and everybody knows that. And given a court date several years ahead just because there is huge amounts of asylum applications that can be handled with the present capacity of the immigration system, and then they can stay in this country and they can exploit the resources of this country. No more. This is not anymore the case. We got to be very clear and explicit about this situation. This is not the case anymore. Catch and release to be ended, which is basically this dealing with what I just tried to describe. Catch and release was the policy that person who was illegally crossing the border was submitting themselves to the border patrol agents, and then they were being taken into the custody, which is called the detention centers, and then those detention centers, their asylum applications was being processed, and then they were being released. So this is called catch and release. This is now no more. Done. No more catch and release. There was a national emergency declaration by President Trump. He declared a national emergency at the southern border, at the Mexican border. By the nature of the national emergency, the National Guard and U.S. military can be activated to assist the border patrol agents in order to secure the border, in order to establish the complete border security. Being national emergency, this has its own specific set of rules. First off, although the national emergency is about the southern border, The motto is the entire nation is now southern border. So it's not only along the southern border, but it's in its entirety across the board. The whole United States of America is under this national emergency because of the situation that we had last 4 years, thanks to the treasonous Biden administration's decisions and acts and plans. Again, the uh, the fact that this is a national emergency, it gives the president great powers in terms of utilizing the military resources and National Guard and all the other military resources to be able to assist and help the border patrol agents and ICE, Immigrations and Customs and Enforcement Department, in their efforts to fight with illegal immigration. The new asylum application processes at the present time is simply not clear. I touch base to that one. At the moment, they are not taken. I repeat, they are not taken any new asylum applications. That doesn't mean there won't be any asylum applications. There will be going forward, but at the present time, because of the current situation, the priorities have been given first to stop the bleeding, meaning stop the illegal crossings, shut down the border, and two, start cleaning up the inside the problem within the United States, find and deport the illegal immigrants, and during which time, until the situation gets under control, they're not taking any new asylum applications. By the way, the immigration court, the asylum rejection or denial rate, national average, is about 90%. Actually, it's 90 plus, 90 to 95%. Because, again, it's a well-known situation that a lot of people who are applying for asylum are coming with made-up reasons and bogus reasons, and they're trying to come up with all kinds of, fabricated reasons, try to make their cases suitable to the asylum rules. Typically, asylum is it has been designed for people who are truly escaping persecution in their countries, who are subject to persecution for various reasons, such as because of their ethnicity, race, nationality, religion, political beliefs, or similar situations, if they are under severe danger, and if their families' livelihoods are not almost non-existent, and at any given time they can be persecuted. Those are the people who should or can apply for asylum. But unfortunately, again, under the Biden administration, the asylum policy has been extremely heavily exploited and taken advantage, and a lot of people, a lot means millions, because there are a total of 11 million illegal immigrants, and 90+% of them, their cases are extremely bogus. So because of that, right now, asylum processes have been suspended until the next decision. The birthright citizenship, that's a big one. As Trump, when he was signing that, you remember, in the Oval Office, when he was presented with the documents to be signed for the birthright citizenship, he said, oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a huge one. Because the reason why it's a big one is this. Birthright citizenship is right now on the Constitution. On the Constitution of the United States of America. And, excuse me, the way it was, the language that was used for this executive order was the definition or redefinition, more like redefinition of the birthright citizenship. Basically, if you search, you can see the changes, the verbal changes on this item, that by constitution it was given anyone who delivers a baby. That baby, I mean, any baby was born in the United States, regardless of their parents, whether they're both immigrants, whether they have a right to stay here permanently. If their child is born on the U.S. soil, that child is automatically an American citizen. This is what the birthright citizenship is, right? The birthright citizenship has been extremely, I mean, I would say more than extremely heavily exploited, to the extent that there has been so far for years a huge industry. It's called the American birthright citizenship industry, tourism industry. There are hotels and thousands of people. There are businesses, there are institutions, and companies have been established around this notion, because there are thousands of thousands, tens of thousands of people so far, maybe hundreds of thousands of people so far came to this country to deliver, like a couple months prior, before the birth date, to deliver the baby just so they can get an American citizenship. This was an extremely heavy exploitation of American citizenship, birthright citizenship. This was not acceptable. This is not acceptable. This cannot be acceptable, because the law that was put on the Constitution under extremely different circumstances, and it probably, I believe, did not consider that, a couple hundred years later, there's going to be huge industry, huge sector, tourism sector, to take advantage of this law, American birthright citizenship. The challenge now, there's a challenge with that. Although President Trump signed this as an executive order, this is going to be subject, and there's a lot of, like 18, I think currently, 18 Democratic states are challenging it, and it's going to go to Supreme Court, because even if it is accepted, it takes, let's say we assume that it's going to be accepted, for this to stay as law, it should be, it takes a modification of the Constitution, and it takes another amendment to make it stay in force. So it's going to be a huge challenge, but nevertheless, President Trump signed this executive order to end, I repeat, to stop this ridiculous exploitation, birthright citizenship of the United States of America. I'm continuing. I am at the number 11, the item number 11. Transsexual athletes are now illegal for sports, any kind of sports competitions. And folks, if you remember, if you did watch the last 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, France, there was a boxing match between two women, actually one real woman and the other one was a man who was masquerading as a woman. Because of the DEI stupidity, because of the DEI craze, because of the same woke ideologies and principles, that man was able to compete as a woman. And the other woman, the real woman, she stopped in the middle of the match. She stopped and she said, "I'm not going to continue because I'm scared of my life." This is extremely unfair competition situation, that a man can compete as a female just because he is claiming to feel as a woman. This ridiculousness is no more. So I repeat again, transsexual athletes are now illegal for any kind of sports competitions. Item number 12. officially only two genders are recognized, and those are men and women. There is no third gender. If a person, in my opinion, is feeling like there is a third gender and he or she belongs to that gender, he or she is living in a fantasy world and in severe mental situation that needs to be addressed by mental institutions, and he or she needs to be fixed up. Again, there are only two genders, men and women. Number 13, sex change surgeries are now illegal. Again, the same wokeist system, the same woke ideologies were allowing and encouraging, not only allowing, but encouraging and facilitating to encourage the little kids, like say a little boy, maybe 6 years old, that they were asking like, okay, how do you feel like today? How do you feel like? Do you feel like a boy or do you feel like a girl? And if boy, for some reason, maybe just for the fun of it, we're talking about 5 or 6 year old, say, okay, I feel like a girl. I'm gonna play with dolls, and then even without his parents' permission, state should have a right to interfere, enforce, and facilitate a sex change of this boy, just because that boy, 5 or 6 year old again, maybe for the heck of it, is saying, oh yeah, I would consider sex change, most likely without even comprehending and understanding the actual true meaning of it. And this is now no more is the case. It is illegal. Thanks God. Thanks God. Number 14, meritocracy-based hiring principles. So no more DEI-based principles. So again, folks, we all know what DEI is, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusivity. Another woke ideology. Let's look at the couple examples of the potential implications. One is, I want to give example from that in Pennsylvania, one of the campaigns, the Trump was giving a speech during his campaign in Pennsylvania, and there was a assassination attempt on Trump, and by grace of God, he was saved. So we all saw, the whole world, entire world watched that woman who was one of the Secret Service detail of President Trump. She was showing and displaying 100% of incapability about how to use her gun and how to perform her duty as a protection, to provide a protection to the president. She was there because she got hired under the DEI, because the head of the then director, she was resigned after the hearings. Next day, the following day, she had to resign. That woman, who was the director of the Secret Service, had a policy of filling up the ranks of the Secret Service up to 35% by women. And people were being hired not because of their capabilities and talents, not because they proved their abilities, but because of their, in this case, gender. Because to meet what the 30% or 35% quota had the utmost priority and importance and significance, and ability to do the job was not even cared for. This is, by all means and any means, are absolutely beyond unacceptable. But this is what was happening. Another example is from Los Angeles fires in California. The firefighter department, they are in California applying the same DEI principles under the same woke leadership. And there are firefighters who are physically not capable of, for instance, going up to, a couple floors or 3 floors, up in the building and rescue a person. Let's say a person maybe is bedbound, a big person, maybe a heavy person. So it takes a couple people or 3 people to carry that person. They cannot do their jobs either because they are obese, they are physically incapable, or they are women, most likely not physically strong enough to carry that man. But yet, doesn't matter. It makes no difference for as long as the DEI regulations are satisfied, certain percentages, certain quotas are satisfied. No more under the Trump administration. Only people who are capable to serve in their positions should be and will be hired. That's called meritocracy-based hiring. If that person happens to be a woman, or a gay, or a minority, that is 100% perfectly okay. But the number one, the overriding principle should be merit-based, I repeat, hiring, meritocracy. Nothing else. DEI should be defeated. That was number 14. Now, going to number 15, withdrawal from the Paris Accord. This is about the climate change. The Paris Accord, which I had actually an entire video on that one previously, was going to cost the United States about 10 plus trillion dollars within the next 10 years. That was signed into law 4 years ago, unfortunately, again, by Biden. And that was the first day he signed, first day he became president. And it was one of the executive orders. And since then, the United States has been paying about $1 trillion extra each year and adding to the national debt for so-called climate change control. And I have a whole video on that one, about how incredibly beyond ridiculous the potential future impact of the monies that I just mentioned. Yet they brainwash people so badly without knowing any single statistic, any single information. They believe kind of almost like in a faith base without seeing any kind of evidence, numerical, empirical evidence, the hard evidence. A lot of people were made to believe in that. This was almost treasonous to this country, to the people, to the American people. From the taxpayers, they were going to pay $1 trillion extra each year for this. Again, yes, there's a climate change is taking place, but the problem is it has not been scientifically fully beyond any doubt proven that it is caused primarily, almost solely, by the activities, human activities. Number 16 is tariffs to Mexico and Canada at 100%. That's another executive decision. Number 17, Mexican cartels have been declared as international terrorist organization. I want to give a little bit of a note here. The human smuggling efforts that brought the last 4 years 11 plus million illegal immigrants into this nation. Every single one of them were brought into the United States. Facilitated. The whole thing was facilitated by the Mexican cartel. There are total eight major, the biggest one is being Sinaloa cartel. Excuse me. The whole thing was facilitated. An annual revenue of this business, the human smuggling business, is about $13 billion. Not only human smuggling, there's also drug trafficking, which is fentanyl primarily, and which is killing, according to the official government statistics, 150 approximately to 200,000 Americans every year have been dying. They killed, like Trump was saying, I mean, the Mexican cartel, they killed a whole lot more, incomparable amount to any other number of soldiers who were killed, let's say, during all 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of wars by terrorist organizations. All the terrorist organizations in the world combined could not kill even a fraction of this many Americans. It is how bad it is. And this is how bad it is. And yes, they are the worst terrorist organizations, and they have to be dealt with accordingly. Number 18, thousands of government employees will be fired, and all government employees will be back to work in person. Now, this is, I believe, related to Trump's overhauling decision of the government institutions. And a lot of government institutions are on the list. A lot of them. That is done under the principles of efficiency. And as you know, Trump created a new government department. It's called Efficiency, which will be headed by Elon Musk. Elon Musk, when it comes to efficiency, he's a hawk. He's a shark. He knows what efficiency means. As a very shrewd businessman, very smart and intelligent businessman. And there will be enormous amount of federal employees we're going to see coming months that will be fired. Because Trump plans to overhaul and kind of reorganize a lot of institutions. Some of them will be totally abolished. Some of them will be abolished and will be kind of combined with another organization under different names. We're going to see a whole lot of changes. Huge reorg work is on the way. Number 19, the mass deportation process will start immediately. ICE will be boosted by 32,000 new agents and will be augmented by the National Guard soldiers if they need help. This is talking about, basically talking to back on what I said, because of the national emergency situation, the U.S. military, in this case National Guard, can be utilized to support the processes. And again, they're adding 32,000 new agents to the ICE, which is Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. In other words, in short, Immigration Police Department, you can also call. So that is also the case. Number 20, the wall construction will pick up and continue. There is no doubt about it, right? The total entry is officially shut down, and actually border has been militarized, and the wall will continue. The wall construction will continue. Number 21, by 1798 Alien Enemies Act, that was invoked, that was activated to deal with the foreign invasion, as Trump puts it. So the way Trump sees the whole illegal immigration situation as an invasion, like a foreign invasion. And the 1798 Alien Enemies Act has been invoked to deal with this situation, and its provisions, the legal provisions which are on the Constitution, will be activated to deal with the situation. Number 22, that's the same thing. Southern border to be immediately shut down as of January 20th. Number 23, J6ers, January 6ers have been pardoned, and that is all of them. I know this is very controversial because that day, January 6th of 2021, we all saw, the whole entire world saw what happened on the parliament. And I have to admit, there was police officers who were killed. It was a very unfortunate situation. I'm very sorry for those police officers who lost their lives, first off. So God bless their spirits. And but this is what I want to say. They've been so far in jail. They paid their dues. And let me ask you this, for those who are having trouble. And in fact, I was asking myself about this, trying to be kind of as honest as possible. And this is what I was asking myself. Those people, I live in Minneapolis. I'm from Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis. And in the city of Minneapolis, after George Floyd, in the summer of 2020, I personally witnessed, the BLM was burning the city. Lots of buildings, lots of damage, lots of buildings were set on fire. There was enormous amount of violence. Not a single person, not a single BLM member, not a single Antifa member was caught, arrested, jailed. Not a single. By the same token, the similar situation took place in Oregon. They burnt down Oregon, the beautiful city of Oregon. They reduced it to rubble. Not a single person was arrested. Got caught, arrested, and jailed. Not a single person, nobody. So those people who are criticizing the pardoning of these J6ers, do they ask themselves, honestly, can they explain themselves, honestly, that all J6ers should remain in the prison for the rest of their lives, yet the others, the BLM, the Antifa, just forget about it, don't even talk about it. If you can answer my question, then I'm ready to discuss that with anyone who is saying the pardoning of J6ers have been wrong, ethically, morally wrong. Number 24, Laken Riley law have already passed prior to the inauguration and in place. So, folks, Laken Riley was a young, very beautiful, smart American girl student in Georgia State. She was a nursing student in Georgia State, and she was attacked, and raped, and killed by an illegal immigrant. And that became a symbol of the migrant crime, as President Donald J. Trump puts it. This was the epitome of the migrant crime. So, in her name, in the name of Laken Riley, this new law passed. And what does it say? What are the provisions of this new law? Any illegal immigrant, if they get caught in petty crime like shoplifting, this is primarily based on theft. The definition of crime here is theft. And that is petty crime as small theft as even shoplifting. If they get caught and get arrested, I repeat, the keyword is arrested, not found guilty in the court system and jailed or sent to prison, but got arrested. Guilty or not, without the due legal process, meaning without showing up without any legal hearing, he or she will be deported. This is what this is the main provision of the Laken-Riley Act. It sounds very tough, I know, almost unfair, because anybody, by the law, by the institution of the United States of America, anybody is innocent until proven guilty, right? But we got a unique situation here. We got a unique problem here. I'm going back to 1798 Alien Invasion Act, which changes, along with the national emergency, the situation not in favor of the illegal immigrants, obviously. So this is how it should be analyzed, I think, how it should be evaluated. Number 25, all refugee programs currently have been suspended. These are official refugee programs, not regular, asylum applications. I'm not talking about that. Like people coming and applying for asylum because they're escaping from a persecution in their country. But this is the refugee situation, totally entirely different class, and even that is now currently suspended until the next decision. Number 26, Trump wants to end the asylum process for illegal border crossers, but no specifics are known yet. So we just talked about that, actually touch base that, so I'm going to skip that. We rather talk about it. Number 27, immigration raids by ICE agents in sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York City are right now in process. It is called, there is an operation name for this. It's called Operation Safeguard. And ICE agents are now working currently to find and get to those criminal elements, illegal alien criminal elements, I'm sorry, to be able to process them. So far in the sanctuary cities, as you know, even though an illegal immigrant commits a crime and let's say he gets arrested and gets jailed, and let's say ICE agents are coming to get that person within those sanctuary cities, police department, law enforcement was not complying or was not helping the ICE agents to get that person. In fact, they were stopping the ICE agents to get to that person. This will not be the case anymore. Any illegal alien who committed a crime will be handled by ICE agents, and they will not be anymore protected by the sanctuary cities. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of backlash, a lot of resistance. We're going to be seeing, going forward, watching those sanctuary cities, all Democrat cities, acting like kind of protective of their illegal criminals, even though there are people like the one I just mentioned who raped and killed a beautiful Laken Riley. They've been trying to protect them. They were trying to kind of save them almost, from any further persecution. I'm sorry, I said the wrong word. The due legal process. Prosecution, that's what I was trying to say. I'm sorry, not persecution. I was thinking about the other way around for asylum applications. Prosecution. I think that is a huge, huge blow to the loved ones of people like Laken Riley. Never forget, in New York City, when the Democrat liberal governor of New York State, Kathy Hochul, when short after she said that the New York City subway is safe, no problems, another illegal immigrant burnt a woman on train for fun, just for fun. So this is how effective Democratic liberal leaders of these states and cities, like Kathy Hochul in New York State. Number 26. I'm sorry, number 28. Item number 28. United States has officially withdrawn from WHO. WHO is standing for an acronym, World Health Organization. No more has been officially withdrawn from WHO. Number 29. All federal DEI employees are on leave. Without an exception, I repeat, all federal employees, DEI employees, are on leave. This is something we just previously discussed. A couple examples that I gave you, right? One from Secret Service, the other one is Fire Department. Anyone who is in position is now under suspicion if they are put in their positions because of because the concerns of satisfying the DEI quotas. Number 30, protected status have been abolished for those particular four nations, and those are Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. So there was I think it was called TPS, temporary protected status. That status now has been abolished. Number 31, the name of Gulf of Mexico has been now recently changed to Gulf of America. Number 32, NATO nations will increase their contributions, their annual contributions to defense spending from the required 2% of their GDP to 5%, and that's a great increase, to 5% of GDP. Number 33, well, drill baby drill. America will start drilling oil like in places like in Alaska, because this country is also blessed, like many other things, with lots of oil. And yes, they're going to drill. Number 34, TikTok is to be banned. Just like Trump says, President Trump says, TikTok is worthless. TikTok is an insult to any intelligent person. But it's unfortunately its value got to the point of like $1 trillion. But if America bans it, its value is one huge zero. Trump is not negotiating, trying to make also some gains out of that, just like any other. I mean, he is being a typical shrewd businessman. He's negotiating for this deal, and if the the agreement reached, America will get at least $500 billion out of that deal. Number 35, according to the new housing plan, there will be a price cut for each house across the board, the entire United States. That if somebody buying a house, let's say a house is $400,000, it'll be $50,000 less. That's the new housing plan. And the last item is number 36, is IRS hiring freeze. IRS, Internal Revenue Service, there's a hiring freeze for a good reason. There will be a lot of tax arrangements, let's say, and it's definitely needed. IRS needs to be also overhauled, just like any other agency. Also, one of the agencies is ATF. Speaking of, those three-letter agencies, and ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, is also on the list. That will be either abolished or kind of overhauled, modified, whatever it is, we're going to see, but it's subject to those changes. So yes, folks, those are the 36 items that I wanted to basically share with you, what those are, what kind of changes are coming up. I made another video before this video. It was a few days back. That was on Second Amendment and the new changes in the new gun laws during the Trump administration. So I'm not, talking about any kind of Second Amendment or gun laws and gun rights on this video, as I normally spare or dedicate a whole other video to that subject matter. But these are the changes that I just wanted to share with you. Again, I repeat, as Trump says, and I agree with him, and I wish him Godspeed. that this is hopefully a golden age of America, just like he says, make America great again. And there will be a lot of hard work to fix the problems that was caused by democratic, liberal, and woke administration. And there is going to be a lot of healing and fixing and overhauling all the government institutions. Huge changes are on the way to make this country great again. Thank you very much for watching my video. Stay safe, and I wish you all healthy, happy future. Thank you very much.